Hi guys, this is Jones. Welcome to have a chat about training, specifically my training and also specifically the last week or so. So I have my phone here because I will of course need some notes, and I live in a digital age, so notes are in my phone. So who am I and what is my background in training? Have been training for a couple of years. I'm 45. When I was a kid, I played team sports from age 6, 7 up until 18. Soccer or football was my main sport. Also some handball, but then when I quit team sports, I went into boxing. I was never very talented, and boxing has its ways to show you. And then after a couple of years boxing, I just ended up in gym and running. Did gym for a long time, from age 20 or so until 35, just gym bro stuff. Then 10 years of powerlifting. And also, not the last 10 years, but prior, quite a lot of running in different eras of my life. And now I am mostly running and also doing some powerlifting inspired training, but no competing right now. Anyway, I have had and still have some slight issues with my right knee. Now it's mostly strange feel to it, but there is no real problem that I need to address or take care of. I just need to do some unilateral movements. I've been doing that for a while, and it feels like the knee is improving, and that's really nice. So I was thinking, I had quite a good week last week. Today filming is 20th of March 2025. It's a Thursday, so we will do 10 days of training. So last week I did actually run twice, and I had an 8K on Monday and 8K, and then bodyweight lunges, and that felt good. Pace was a bit low running, but that's also with intent, because if I want to add distance and speed or pace, that's going to be a problem, so I need to manage my pace, and that's also the easiest because I'm quite slow to begin with. So that was Monday, and we had Saturday also running 11K. Yeah, and that felt good. I have had the issue with my knee is I'm in pain between runs, and then when I run it's about 1K before I'm warmed up, and then it feels good like for the rest of the run, no matter how long it is, just feels good. And then when I cool off afterwards and in between the couple of days until next run, it feels terrible, or felt terrible with pain and discomfort. But now Saturday 11K run and then some lunges, and yeah, I had a bit of a break from running. I mean, just a week, but still the lunges took a beating from it. So I did a couple of weeks back, I did like 100 reps lunges after my run, but now I'm down to 30 and 40, so I'm gonna add that up. But then Sunday went to the gym and did my more or less my regular, for now, type of training. So that was, let's see, deadlifts. And now when I'm telling you the weights, you need to be kind to me. But so I came up to doing 3 sets of 3 for 150K. So that's like 300 and, let's see, 150 times 2.2, 330 pounds. And that felt good. I was in control. Need to remember that the day before I had an 11K run, and I am 110 kilos. That's 242 pounds, so I'm still quite heavy. Then we had some overhead press, and yeah, I did 5 threes with 45K. I don't know the pounds to that, you will have to do the math yourselves. And then some bar dips, hanging knee raise, lat pull down, dumbbell row, and Bulgarian split squats. And the Bulgarian split squats, I do them when I'm at the gym. I do them last usually to like finish my training. And when I run, I do lunges. So the lunges I can do outside, just in the parking lot or anywhere. But I was thinking, because we had a, yeah, that was Sunday. So then Monday, we had a run again. And that was, yeah, 5.3K was some sort of interval. Yeah, it was like 1K warm up, then 2 1.5Ks at a certain pace. Quite fast for me anyway. I managed the first 1.5K at the target pace. The other one, that was harder. And that is the pace I'm talking about is because I'm training for a half marathon. So the pace for these 1500 meters, that's faster than the pace I'm training for to do in the half marathon. That's in 2 months time. Anyway, that was Monday. Wednesday, which was, I mean, yesterday, I went to the gym again. And this was the first time in a couple of months that my squats felt good. And they were not, I mean, they felt heavy, but they weren't heavy. But I worked my way up to 5 threes. And that's just 105 kilos on the bar. But I mean, you need to, I try to maintain some strength, even though I'm mostly running. Then we had some overhead press. I did 5 twos, so 5 sets, 2 reps, 50K. That's usually how when I don't have a specific program, because now I'm just, the exercises are the same every time I go to the gym, more or less. But I usually change out the first one, squats or deadlifts, that's the idea. But then I just do like every other session, like for overhead press, I do sets of 3s. And then next time I do sets of 2s, and that's of course going to be a bit heavier than last time. Then next time again, I do sets of 3s again. And those 3s are supposed to be heavier than the 3s I did, yeah, like the previous time I did 3s. So I guess that makes some sort of sense, because then I go step by step, like heavier, lighter, heavier, lighter, heavier, lighter, and so on. And in the end, I'm going to be super strong. Probably the strongest guy in the world. But you never know, but that's the idea of the program anyway. So just push, step back, push, FUD, step back, and so on. And I have had quite good results with this. I was almost about to say great results, but that's not true, but good results. Because with this kind of programming, because it's not really a program, I've managed to, in a couple of months, get back to my my personal highest level of strength. But then if I want to break new ground, so to speak, I probably need more of a thought through program. Anyway, so we had overhead press. After that, Romanian deadlifts. Really like those. did 5 sets, then bar dips, hanging knee raise, my favorite superset. After that, lat pull down, and I have said, if you are following this series, that I try to do my training standing or hanging. Lat pull down is of course sitting down, and that's, yeah, I'm just changing out the lat pull downs, and that's, I mean, basically just to give myself some sort of a break, because my hands, even the skin in my hands, my elbows to some degree, shoulders, take a bit of a beating if I'm doing too much pull-up work. So, and also, to be honest, the volume gets really low but the intensity is high, because I do like 2 or 3 pull-ups per set, and I can add of course more sets, but still that is quite close to my maximum effort for each set. And anyway, then we had Bulgarian split squats, 3 sets, and ended up with dumbbell row, 3 sets. Really like dumbbell rows. I do them standing, just leaning forward, and trying to stretch at the bottom, allow myself or the dumbbell to stretch my back, and then pull up with control. And in my mind I try mentally to think that I'm pulling up and contracting at the top, but if you look at it from the outside, probably you can't really see it, because it is heavy enough for it to be hard to contract and keep the weight at the top position. So anyway, that was the gym session from yesterday, and it took me 1.5 hours at the gym, and I was thinking maybe this will also be in a separate video, but when I go to train, I do, for the last 10 years I do full body sessions. I really like it. So I have one deadlift or squat, maybe a variation of these, but that's my goal if I'm not too fatigued or injured or something else. So one first exercise is squat or deadlift, then I have main pressing, and that has been bench press for a long time, but now I do overhead press because it's not as taxing, because you use less weight and it's faster and it's easier to set up and so on. And then after my main pressing, I usually have, if I did deadlifts, maybe I want to do, this is not for now really, but previously if deadlift was my first, maybe front squats would be my third exercise. If squats were my first, maybe Romanian deadlift or some deadlift variation might be my third exercise. So anyway, but I was thinking about, when I go to train, I do like 6 or between 5 and 7 exercises, and one of those might be supersets. So let's say dips and knee raises, I count that as one, but there are 2 exercises, but still I do them, superset them. So, but I was just thinking yesterday when I went to the gym, because I have a timer for my complete total, like the session itself, and then also rest time and so on. So, but I did squats 10 sets. That was, let's not call all of them working sets, but warm-up sets are not counted into this, and not the total volume and so on. So about 10 sets above 50% of my max. That's how I calculate it. That took me 30 minutes. And that's quite common. But I mean, if I'm preparing for a powerlifting meet, my first exercise might take up to 45 minutes. But now it was 30. Then switching over to overhead press, that was 9 sets, took 20 minutes. RDLs, Romanian deadlifts, 5 sets, 15 minutes. And this is of course quite like comprehensive or understandable that more sets equals more time, and bigger, larger, like heavier exercises, usually you need more rest time in between. Okay, so then those were my first 3 with a barbell, so heavy stuff. You need to focus a bit on technique and performance and so on. But then I went over to dips and knee raises, 3 sets, took 7 minutes. Lat pull down, 3 sets, 5 minutes. Bulgarian split squat, body weight, 3 sets, 7 minutes. That's quite understandable too if we look back at the pull down, 3 sets, 5 minutes, because it's just 3 sets. Bulgarian split squat is unilateral movement, so 3 sets is basically 6 sets, sort of. Okay, but 7 minutes. And then dumbbell row, 3 sets, 7 minutes, same thing there. Total 130, 133 I think. Just wanted to give you an idea, and I think this is a good way to like clarify what is important, because I have an idea that I think squats and deadlifts are the foundation to my training and should be to any training where you want to be strong or get strong. You're not going to get strong from dumbbell curls, to be frank. You're not going to be, but if you do squats and you know, progressive overload and you eat enough and you rest enough and so on, you're going to be really strong. So that's, I mean, the number of sets and the time spent should show or align with your goal. So if my goal is to be strong, I better have a movement that I spend lots of time doing and doing lots of sets that aligns with the goal. And squats do, deadlifts do, overhead press do, and so on, even dips and so on. But if I made this like template and it was just crunches and bicep curls, that wouldn't match the goal and the practicality of what I do. So I thought that was a bit interesting. I usually see how much time I spend on the first exercise, but then I just don't do it. But now I wrote it down as I went on. So anyway guys, that was my last 10 days of training. Some running, some gym. Still have kind of, I kind of still feel the remains of the flu. So, but just in my nose and my throat, nothing like, I don't have a raised like heart rate or anything like that. Try to keep track of that. So yeah, my last 10 days training. Hope you find it enjoyable, entertaining, informative, or yeah, anything like that. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep improving guys, go outside, have fun, and stay safe.